Hello everyone and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. In this video, we are going to solve the problem that you're seeing right now on the screen. So let's start first understanding the problem, and once we have done that, we'll move towards the approach of solving this problem, and then later on we are going to discuss the algorithm and the most efficient algorithm to solve this problem. Okay, so let's just start. As you can see over here in the question, it is said that we have given an array, okay, and we have to check if it is strictly increasing or decreasing. Now, let me first tell you what is the meaning of strictly increasing or decreasing. Okay, so basically, a array which is strictly increasing or decreasing can be an array can be called strictly increasing or decreasing when the numbers are first increasing and then started decreasing, or the numbers are first decreasing then started increasing. For example, in this first example, you can see the numbers are increasing, and it's fine. We don't want an array in which the numbers are increasing and decreasing at the same time. You have to focus on this. It is given or, okay. If the thing was that if in place of this or we would have got and, then in that case the whole approach will be different, but in this case the approach will be different, okay, because it is given or. So here we have to return true. Now in the second case, as you can see, the array is something like this: 3 4 5. So it is increasing, and then 5 6 7. But in this case, we are returning false. Why? Because we don't want any two elements to be duplicate. Two consecutive duplicate elements. Basically, duplicate elements can be consecutive only. So we don't want that. See, it can be something like that. That 7. Oh, okay. After this, okay, it can be like this. Okay, if we have any array which is strictly increasing or decreasing, the duplicates elements can be consecutive only. So we don't want any consecutive duplicates also. So we are going to have a special case for that. Okay, we are going to handle this case specially, okay, at the end of writing the code for increasing and decreasing. As you can see in this example, the elements are strictly decreasing, 4 3 2 1. So again we have got true as an answer. Now what you can do is to solve this, what can be the approach to solve this? See, there can be two conditions. First is that either your array will start with increasing order, it will start with increasing order, or it will start, second approach is it will start with decreasing order, right? There can be two approach. Array can start with increasing order, array can start with decreasing order. So we are going to have a one case for increasing order and one case for decreasing order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss the case for increasing order, and once that is done, you will automatically understand the case for decreasing order, because only there will be a minor difference, that is the difference of sign. Okay, the sign will be changed. Instead of greater than, we will be having smaller than sign. That's the only difference that we are going to face. Now here you also have, so two conditions are this. One is this case which we are going to handle, okay. So one is duplicate case, duplicate cases, okay. So one we have to handle duplicate case, and another case is when an array is having only one element. So when an array is having only one element, for example 4 or 9 or anything, you have to return true, because one element can be considered as strictly increasing or decreasing, okay. So in that case you are going to return true. So you are going to have one more condition. If your array is having one element, then in that case you are also going to return true, okay. So we have to handle all these things. Now let's just talk about the algorithm. Now if you will talk about the algorithm, so the first thing is that if your size is, let's just suppose that I'm storing size in n. So arr dot length, okay, and let's just assume that our array is not let's just not make it big, let's make it a, okay. A is our array, and a dot length will, n will store a dot length, and your array will be something like this. A is equals to let's just make this 1 2 3 4 5, okay. Now this is our array, okay. Now what we have to do basically over here is we are going to first check if the length is 1. So our first thing is, if n equal to 1, so you don't have to do anything, you just have to return true, right? Okay, So if your array is having only one element, you just have to return true. The next thing is to check if your array that if the starting thing is an increasing sequence. Okay, so how you're going to check is you're going to have so if this is possible, then it's fine. Otherwise, else. Inside the else, you are going to again have multiple ifs. Okay, so first thing is if your ARR of 0 is less than ARR of 1. So if this is the condition, then that means that your starting sequence is increasing sequence, right? So what you have to do over here is you have to create a variable first. So let's just create a variable 1, I equal to 1, because we are going to you will understand why I'm getting I is equals to 1, because I'm going to traverse the array according to that only. Okay, now we are going to have a while loop, and while this checking the increasing sequence will be done, like what will the condition inside the while loop. So basically the condition inside the while loop will be I should be less than n. First of all, this is the first case that my iterative index will never go out of the bound, otherwise it will throw an error index out of bound. Okay, and another condition is by putting an and operator. Another condition that I want to check is that my ARR of I should be always greater than ARR of I plus 1. If this is okay, sorry, I not I plus 1, I minus 1. Yeah. So if this condition is true, okay, if this condition is true, then you can say that your array is in increasing order, and what you're going to do is at each and every index, you're just going to increase the index of I, right? So what will happen is in this case it will basically iterate all like over this array throughout over this array. But let's just assume that we have an array like this 1 2 3, and then we have 4. Okay, so this is increasing, and 2 1. Okay, let's just assume that this is our array. Okay, so first it is increasing and then it is decreasing, right? So here also we are having duplicate, but they are not consecutive duplicates, because we don't want consecutive duplicates, right? So what will happen is as soon as I will reach here, my I will here, it will be fine. As soon as my I will reach over here, when my I will be here, so at this point this condition will not be true and I will get out of the loop. So inside this if condition, I also have to check for the decreasing sequence. Okay, so I will be having another while loop for that, for this. So basically for this I'm going to check I plus 1 is less than n, and why I'm doing this also you will understand once you will see my checking condition. So my checking condition will be if my ARR of I is less okay greater than, okay, ARR of, okay, ARR of I is greater than. Okay, so yeah, so basically we are going to check for the decreasing sequence. So what I want is that the next element ARR of I plus 1, the next element should be greater than the previous element. So this will be the condition. If this is happening, so what I'll do is I'll always increase I by 1. Okay, this will happen, keep on happening. Now once my whole array is traversed, so at the end how I would know that my whole array is traversed and we have got increasing or decreasing sequence. For example, if this is the condition 1 2 3 4, and then I will have, okay, this is increasing, and if I will have decreasing sequence, I will have 5 then 3. If I will have something like this, then I will be returning with some I value that will be less than n, right? I will be returning with some I value that will be less than n. So at the end how I'm going to check if I have traversed the whole array and if my whole array is strictly increasing or decreasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if my I is greater than or equal to. I can be greater than equal to. I can be greater than, but it should not be less than in any case. Okay. If I is greater than equal to n, then in that case you have to return true, because you have traversed your whole array and you have first got the increasing sequence and then you have got the decreasing sequence. Otherwise, else what you have to do is you have to return false. Okay. So this is the first section. This is the first section. If I've got the array in which the starting sequence is strictly increasing. So this is the first section. We have to do, we have to write the similar section code for decreasing sequence. For example, if I have got an array something like this, 7, 6, 5. So for this, the whole scenario will be like the code will be different, the section will be different. So how I'm going to do is I'm just going to return, I'm just going to reverse the sign over here. This condition, in this while condition, I'm going to just reverse the sign. So once I will write the code, I'll explain it over there only. And there will be one more section when we will have consecutive similar elements. So what I'm going to do is, because I have checked ARR of 0 and 1, so I will write a for loop and I will start it with 2. Okay, and I will go till n, and every time I will just increase the index by 1, and in each and every step, if at any point ARR of I is less than equal to ARR of I plus 1, or you can just remove this. If you just check for equal sign, if any at any point of time this is happening, then you have to return false from here. Okay, so basically this is the way of checking if we have any duplicate elements or not. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the coding window and start writing the code for this. Okay, so let's start writing the code. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to create a function that is going to help me in finding out if I have a strictly increasing or decreasing sequence. Public static, and it will be boolean because it has to return either true or false. Public static boolean, and let's just name it as is increasing or decreasing. Okay, so let's just name it like that. Int n will store the size, and int square bracket and ARR. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's start writing the code. So if the first condition will be if n equals to 1, then in that case you don't have to do anything, just simply return true from here. Okay, just don't waste your time, just return true. Else, if this is not the case, then we are going to go in else section, and inside this else section what we have to do is we have to check if it is strictly increasing first or if it is strictly decreasing first. So I will have a if condition if ARR of 0 is less than ARR of 1. Okay, now it is a strictly increasing, we are talking about a strictly increasing sequence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable int I equal to 1. I'll start with is less than n, and ARR of I is always greater than ARR of I minus 1. Okay, I hope that this thing is clear. It's pretty clear, and at each and every point what I have to do is I plus plus. Okay, once this is done, now I'm going to check for the decreasing sequence. So again I'm going to have a while loop, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with I plus 1 is less than n. Okay, and the second will be the condition to check the decreasing sequence. So what I'm going to do is ARR of I should always be less than. Okay, ARR of I should always be less than ARR of I plus 1. Okay, clear? And every time I have to do what? I have to just do I plus plus. Cool. Now this is for my strictly first increasing then decreasing sequence. Now also I have to see one thing, that is if I have traversed the whole array, then I have to return true. So what I'm going to do is if my I is greater than or equal to n, then I have to return true, else I have to return false. Else what I have to do, I have to return false. So this is one section, right? This whole if is one section. Now again we are going to have another if section. I'm just going to copy this and paste it because we just have to do a little bit of changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check now for the decreasing, and I just have to change the signs over here. Okay. If you will understand it very nicely, dry run this, you will understand why just changing the size sign is doing all the work. Now, let me just put else if over here. Else if over here. Okay, if else if, and at the end of this, like at the end of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply write another else, that is if I have got any two consecutive numbers in between, right? Two consecutive same numbers. So what I'm going to do is, for that I'm just going to check, I'm going to have a for loop. Okay, I'm just going to have a for loop. Just give me a minute. Yes, there was some issue. So yes, as I was saying, I will write else over here. Okay, so basically inside, at the end we are going to have a else, and we are basically going to check if we have any two consecutive numbers over here. Okay, so once this is done, we have like written the whole code. Now what we have to do is we just have to call this. So over here I will just create an array int. Let's just initialize it over here only. Okay, and also let's create a variable int n that will be equal to arr dot length. Okay, and here instead of printing this, let's just call this function and let's see if we are getting true or false. Okay, so we have to just remember the sequence of passing the values int n and arr, and then let's just close this. And yeah, I guess it's perfectly fine. Yeah. So let's just quickly run this and let's see what we are getting as an output. So okay, there is one issue we are facing. If okay, okay, so we have done one mistake over here. That's why we are facing this issue. Yes, let's just run this. There is basically some issue of brackets, I guess. Okay, again we have a little, okay, we have done the same mistake over here because we have copied the above code. Okay, because we have seen, okay, bracket, some bracket mistake at line 54. Okay, so let's just remove this. Yeah, let's just run this. Let's see if this is working fine or not. So as you can see, the answer is true. So you can check this for multiple test cases and you will obviously get the correct answer because that's the right code. And that's it from my side for today's video. I hope that you have liked it. If you do, please click on the like button and please subscribe to our channel and share the video as much as you can, and I'll see you next time.